We're joined now by criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Tanya Miller. And Tanya, the defense trying to make the point, where's the physical evidence? The crime scene wasn't disturbed. Where is it? Is that a problem for proving the prosecution's case?
It could be. I mean, we haven't seen enough yet to really tell exactly where the defense is going, but it seems clear that the state doesn't have any concrete physical evidence tying young Joshua to this homicide yet, at least not that I've heard. So I think that's what the defense might be trying to highlight at this point.
Tanya, were you know, this is the first time we heard Joshua Young in his own words. And, you know, we see him come into court. He looks like just
a baby.
This sweet little baby face. But we hear him for the first time. Was there anything that struck you by that?
The voice didn't connect to the face for me. I mean, his voice sounded a little harsher, a little bit more, tough. Not very sympathetic, not very soft, not like what I would expect to hear a 15-year-old say when his 14-year-old stepbrother was just found brutally murdered. So I was a little shocked by that. Not terribly, but it just didn't seem to match up with this baby-faced image you see in court.
Couldn't that be, though, on the other hand, he's a little stunned? I mean, his brother's friend is taken away from him. Now he's facing
15.
the cops.
Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen witnesses and victims react completely differently to trauma. So there's no one way that you react. But as a 15-year-old kid, you see this baby face and then you hear that voice. It just seems like a little bit of a disconnect.
Well, and let's not forget there are 3 other statements that we will hear throughout this trial. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
That's right. And one of those statements, the prosecution's going to try to say they were a little bit inconsistent in terms of Josh Young talking about where he was when Trey was last seen.
Let's hit the pause button for a second because I want to bring in attorney Tanya Miller. Tanya, are you surprised that the defense in their cross-examine is going so into detail about some of the other possible suspects when we already know Joshua Gowker has been convicted of this crime?
Right. I'm not entirely sure why yet. They may connect it up. You remember, trials are kind of like you get bits and pieces from each witness. They may want to argue something about the sufficiency of the investigation, the failure to follow up on certain leads, so they have to ask these detectives what they did and didn't do.
Okay, let's get back in there because this was actually just a quick lull rather than us hitting pause. Let's get back in there, hear what they're talking about.